캐롤라인 레빗 백악관 대변인의 화끈한 기자회견 보시겠습니다. 브리핑에서 한 좌파 기자가 이렇게 묻습니다. IC가 잘못했다, 무리했다, 사람을 죽였다. 캐롤라인 레빗 대변인이 딱 잘라 말합니다. 당신은 기자가 아니라 좌파 활동가다. 그리고 이어서 핵심을 꽂습니다. 말장난하지 말고 사실을 보도하라. 좌파 진영에서 자주 쓰는 프레임이 딱 하나 있거든요. 피해자 프레임만 앞세우고 원인과 맥락은 빼버리는 방식. 대변인은 그걸 이렇게 뒤집습니다. 헤드라인이 진실이 아니다. 현장에서 IC 요원이 먼저 공격당했고 자기 방어였다고 DHS가 밝혔다. 누가 불법을 했는지, 누가 폭력을 했는지부터 보라고 말합니다. 여기서 미국 좌파의 이중성이 드러납니다. 평소엔 폭력 반대를 외치면서도 자기 편이 폭력을 하면 저항이라고 포장합니다. 캐롤라인 레빗 대변인은 정치적 선동이 현실 폭력으로 이어진다고 경고합니다. 이 대목은 한국 좌파의 이중성과도 똑같이 겹칩니다. 평소엔 인권을 말하면서도 피해자가 우리 편이 아니면 나서지 않습니다. 평소엔 약자 보호를 말하면서도 범죄 피해자가 국민이든 약자든 상관없이 우리 편이 아니면 쳐다보지도 않습니다. 또 하나, 언론의 역할을 말하면서도 사실 확인보다 프레임이 먼저 나갑니다. 오늘 대변인이 CNN 헤드라인을 콕 집어서 비판한 것도 같은 맥락입니다. 요원이 사람을 쐈다만으로 이야기를 끝내면 사람들은 공권력이 악이라고 믿게 됩니다. 그런데 그 공권력은 누굴 잡으러 갔는지, 그 과정에서 누가 먼저 공격했는지, 그걸 빼면 그건 보도가 아니라 여론 조작이죠.
Thank you, Caroline. Two questions. First, a follow-up on one of my colleagues who asked you about the president's interview with lawyers. You said that he was joking about canceling the elections, but Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation, and only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
Thanks, Caroline. Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE. And Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist. Kelly.
Two quick questions on Iran. I wanted to ask first, just if you can say, how close was the president to potentially launching strikes last night, and was it the Gulf states that convinced him not to do that, as some of the region there have said?
Well, look, Kelly, I know there's been a lot of speculation in the media about what the president is going to do at any given moment or any given night. And I would say a lot of these stories, to be honest with you, I've been reading them, and they have been based on anonymous sources who are pretending or guessing to know the president's thinking. The truth is, only President Trump knows what he's going to do, and a very, very small team of advisors are read into his thinking on that. And as I just told you, he continues to closely monitor the situation on the ground in Iran. And as we saw yesterday, yesterday he had heard that the killings and executions would stop, and we have seen 800 people, their lives have been spared as a result of that. The president continues to closely monitor, but also keep all of his options on the table.
Caroline, two separate questions.
Sure.
On the Machado meeting first, what is it that the president feels that he needs to hear from her or from the opposition party that he hadn't heard prior to today or he wanted to hear in the meeting to be able to convince him to commit to some sort of a timeline for elections?
I'm not sure the president is going into such the meeting with expectations like you just laid out, Fran. I don't think he needs to hear anything from Ms. Machado. I think generally this is a meeting that the president was willing to take and willing to accept to meet Ms. Machado in person and to just have a frank and positive discussion about what's taking place in Venezuela. That's all.
And on the subject of Greenland, Jeff Landry, the president's special envoy for Greenland, wasn't in the White House meeting yesterday. Can you say why that was and what exactly the role he is playing in these conversations about acquiring Greenland?
Well, the Vice President and the Secretary of State were present for that meeting, and the meeting, it was a productive meeting. It was a good meeting, and in that meeting, the two sides agreed to really establish a working group of individuals who will continue to have technical talks on the acquisition of Greenland. Those talks will take place, I'm told, every 2 to 3 weeks, so this is a conversation the administration intends to keep having with the Danes and with the respected delegation from Greenland, but the president has made his priority quite clear. He wants the United States to acquire Greenland. He thinks it's in our best national security to do that.
There have been multiple instances of American citizens being detained by ICE, and I'm wondering what the administration is asking the agency to do. What steps is the administration asking the agency to take to ensure that Americans are not wrongly arrested?
Obviously, ICE is focused on detaining individuals who are unlawfully present in the country. And there have been hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens who have been arrested and detained and deported from this country by ICE over the course of the last year. And that's their intention and that is their goal. Elizabeth.
Thank you, Caroline. One follow-up on Greenland. You reportedly sent troops over there. Does that change at all what the president is doing on this? And then a second question. Yesterday, in a Senate help hearing, Senator Josh Hawley repeatedly asked a doctor if men can get pregnant, and she did not directly answer that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to your first question on Greenland, I don't think troops in Europe impact the president's decision-making process, nor does it impact his goal of the acquisition of Greenland at all. To your second question, I mean, anyone in their right mind with common sense who's speaking honestly and candidly will say that men cannot get pregnant. And I think I can attest to that myself. So thank you all very much.